Class, ha? Yan. This is an important topic in the exam class. Kasi hanggang sales damay dito. Lahat ng obligation. Extinguishment of obligation. So, primary. Actually, yan yun, no? PLC to the third power and O. Local node. Yan yung primary. Ito ang secondary. Ano yung primary? Won't do. Pure on. PLC to the third power and O. Payment or performance. Number 2. Loss of the thing. Loss of the thing due. Number 3. Condonation. Condonation, or what you call remission, or confusion, or merger of rights. Merger of rights are compensation. Compensation or set off. And 6, innovation. Yeah, committing nova chichuria. Innovation. Yan ang mga primary. Ito yung 7 other, yan yung secondary. Other modes. Other similar modes or analogous modes. This class 1 to 6 is an exclusive list. Ibig sabihin, there are no other primary mode of extinction of obligation. Sila lang. Ito yung not exclusive. Marami sila. Not exclusive. Katulad ng maraming class. Annulment. Marami ay yan, no? C. C4. Ano naman C4? Compromise. Fulfillment of resolutory condition or fortuitous event. C4. Annulment. C4. Hindi C4. C4. Rescission. Okay. Meron pa. Prescription. Okay. Yan yung mga prescription pagka written. Written contracts, 10 years. Pag oral, kahit na may evidence, hanggang 6 years lang yan. More than that, kailangan i-reduce nyo in the writing. Otherwise, are some of the secondary modes. Compromise, nag-usap sila. C4. Meron kasama dyan yung marriage, pag nagpakasal yung parties, death, Sa mga purely personal obligation, yes, death or incapacity. Capacity na. Capacity is a secondary mode. Is a primary mode of extinguishing an obligation. Death naman sa mga purely personal obligation lang. So, let's discuss now payment or performance. Matagalan dito yung number 1 class. All the rest, average of 5. Number 1 at saka novation. So dito class, una, init. Yes. Okay. So, you review yung obligation to give, to do, at saka not to do. To give, yung determinate, at saka indeterminate. Diba dito, there are two obligations. The principal obligation and the law, the legal accessory obligation. Yun, yung mga corresponding remedies. So what we will discuss here sa payment or performance is pagdating sa monetary obligation. Kasi pagdating sa monetary obligation, it must be legal tender ang payment. Yung legal tender means peso. Ang peso plus, dalawa yan, paper bills. Any amount yan ay LT. Any amount is legal tender, but not sa points. Sa points plus may limit. So kahit magbayad ka ng 1,000,000 at 50 pesos or 20 pesos, hindi pwede mag-complain ng credito. Huwag ka lang magbayad ng 1,000,000 na points. Oh. Kasi, pag 1 peso and below, hanggang 100 pesos na. Pero over 1 peso, hanggang 1,000. Siguro baka baguhin nila yan, considering meron tayong 20 peso ngayon na points. 1 peso and below, hanggang 100 na. Dahil may mga 5, may limit pagdating sa points. Ayaw ng batas na magbayad ka ng 100,000 at tig-50 piso. That is no longer legal tender. Ibig sabihin, creditor cannot refuse it. Cannot refuse to accept it. Now, pwede bang magbayad ng checks? Rule? No. Exception to the rule, if it is stipulated. Pero kahit na ganun pa man, it is only payment when in cash. See? Or through the fault of the holder, it lost its value. Pwede ba magbayad ng foreign currency? example, dollar. Okay, rule. No. Dahil hindi siya legal tender. Exception to the rule, if it is stipulated. Now, kung stipulated, paano kung pagdating sa exchange rate? Ang basihan. Stipulation muna. Okay? Stipulated. Stated na in dollars. Now, ihiwalay natin. If kailangan if dollars ang obligation. And ang agreement niyo is you pay in peso. Ano ang exchange rate na gagawin? Answer, which is the rule. The exchange rate at the time of payment. See? Exception to the rule. In case of, if there is stipulation. Example, umutang ka ngayon ng $1 million. Payable after 2 years. And the payment is $1 is to $1 is to 65. Regardless of the exchange rate. Utang ako ngayon sa iyo ng $1 million, babayaran kita ng after 2 years based on $1 is to 65 regardless of the exchange rate. Palit yan, kasi yan ang pinag-usapan niyo. Pero kung wala kayong pinag-usapan, kung ano yung exchange rate at the time of payment, 2 years from now, yun ang susundin mo. Pag bumaba ang dollar, swerte ka. Pero pag tumaas, naging 1 is to 70 or 1 is to 80, nako, sorry ka. And in case of extraordinary inflation. Kasi pagdating sa extraordinary inflation, ng revaluation guide ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So you follow the revaluation guide. Kung ano yung exchange rate. At ang isasabi kung merong extraordinary inflation ay Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Yan in case of foreign currency at merong payment ay based on the exchange rate, ang rule ay exchange rate at the time of payment. Exception to the rule, meron kayong separate stipulation. Or in case of extraordinary inflation. Dibawa, $1 is to 100,000 pesos. Yun lang $1 is to 10,000 pesos. That is no longer ordinary. Can be considered extraordinary inflation or the plus. Ang may power na magsasabi kung merong extraordinary inflation ay Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. No other government agency, not even the President. Also the Congress, being the lawmaking body of the state, in case na there is no action sa BSP, they can compel. Ipatawag ng Congress ang BSP. Bakit hindi kayo? Declare kayo ng extraordinary dahil meron talagang extraordinary. President. Compelled by Congress. Otherwise, pwede nilang impeach ang President. Okay. Now, what are the special rules of payment? Kaya sila nag-debate. Ano daw class yung special modes of payment. Yan. Laging pino-compare yan. Although ito lang kasi importante din. Payment by session. Payment Ayan. Emergency. Silent. Silent creditors. Also known as payment by. Excuse me. Payment by. Tawa. Mag-partner sila. Tender of payment and sorry. Communication. So, laging kino-compare itong dalawa, nation in payment at assignment in favor of creditors. So let's discuss them. So, pagkakaiba ng dasyon, saka dasyon. Sila kino-compare kasi. Dasyon and pago, also known as payment in money. So dito, one debtor, one creditor. Talang dito, yeah, two or more debtors, also one creditor. See? Oh, that. 1:1. Dito, 1:2 or more creditors. One debtor who is insolvent. Yan ang emphasis. Dito, the debtor is solvent. 1:1, 1:2. Kaya insolvent siya, marami talaga siyang utang. His assets are less than his liability. That's why dito, class, when the debtor delivers to the creditor his property, automatic extinguishment of obligation. See? Dito, despite delivery. Kasi itong dalawa class, pareho sila in the sense na instead of money, goods or property ang ginamit na payment kay creditor. That's why sa inyong value-added tax law, this can result to a bankable transaction kung ang ginamit mong pambayad ay goods for sale of the business. Dito, despite delivery by debtor to the creditor, no extinguishment here until magkaroon muna ng accounting. Mag-accounting muna. All creditors. You see? Kasi hati-hati sila eh. Ibibigay mo yung property mo sa kanila, ibebenta, tapos share sila sa profit. Hindi katulad dito. Whether ibenta nyo hindi, pagtanggap niya, obligation is automatically terminated. That's why this is governed by insolvency law, not the civil code. Ito yung insolvency dito. Samantalang ito, strictly speaking, it is governed by civil code. Law on sales. Obligation and sales. Particularly sales. Why? Kasi parang binenta mo yung property mo. Yun nga lang, ang pambayad yung utang. See? Parang binenta mo yung property mo kay creditor, but the price is the debt. Yan, class, laging kino-compare yung dalawang yan. Nation in payment or dasyon and pago or payment in kind. And cession, also known as assignment in favor of creditor. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the third. Tender of payment and consignation. Yan, dalawa ito class ha. Mag-partner sila. Tender of payment and consignation. Ito yung offer to pay by the debtor. At creditor refused to accept without valid cause or valid ground. So, consignation means to protect himself legally, debtor made the payment sa court. Sa court siya nagbayad. Siyempre, kailangan niya ng abogado. Hindi ko pwedeng ganun-ganun ka lang pumunta sa court. Magbabayad po ako kasi hindi po ako, yung pong payment ko, hindi po tinatanggap ng debtor, hindi ko naman po alam kung bakit. O pagsasabihan ka ng clerk of court, hindi kailangan judge kasi hindi ka makakalapit sa judge eh. Unless ikaw mag-anak mo yung judge, pwede kang pumunta at sasabihan ka ng judge, kumuha ka ng abogado. Kasi magpapile kayo ng case sa court for consignation. Then, okay, consignation, yun. Ang naman, i-charge mo yan sa creditor na ayaw tanggapin ang payment mo na walang dahilan. That's why ang rule, no, automatic consignation. Kailangan first, mag-pay of payment. Mag-tender of payment. Hindi pwedeng automatic na mag-consignation. Hindi tatanggapin ng court yan. Exception to the rule, dito, automatic consignation is allowed. Not even without fee of fee. Yan, ano yung mga cases na automatic consignation is allowed? Maraming beses na rin ito, for example. Ito yung keyword. Ayan ang keyword mo. Florets. Isaya ng florets. Yung pang candy na pang fresh na bread. Florets. May mo florets. Ito rin, Curtis. O nga, no? Curtis, si Ann Curtis. Ann Curtis. Curtis L. Si Curtis L. L. Curtis. Tapos si Curtis. Pwede rin Beast. Beast liquor. Ann Curtis. Okay. Pero sinusundan ko yung florets. Kasi parang florets. Florets, number one, if there is a court order. Kung merong court order, sundin mo ang court order na huwag ka magbayad sa ibang tao kung sa court. Okay, number two, yung L, location. Yun daw location ni creditor, hindi mo alam kung saan. Example, nag-change siya ng address, magbayad ka na lang sa court. O kaya number three, unknown. Unknown si creditor. Pwede ba ngayon? Example, hindi mo alam yung kanyang heirs kasi namatay siya. Example, heirs niya, hindi mo alam. Kahit, court ka magbayad. Or refuses to pay, refuses to issue receipt creditor. Kahit na hindi OR, ito may resibo, ayaw niya mag-issue. Unless you really need an OR and he does not want to issue OR, may hawak-hawak naman siya ng OR, may dahilan ka para mag-issue. Pero any written is a receipt. Kasi that is, basta pinirmahan niya yan, presentable yan sa court. O number five, incapacitated. Now, si creditor, at the time, of payment. Tapos, meron kang illness. Siya ay nasa ICU. Wala nga naman tinitin mo. Hindi ka pa papasukin sa ICU. Due date na. 1 million. Walang gustong tumanggap. Support ka magbayad. Number 6. Or 2. Two or more persons claim to be the creditor. Kaya, halimbawa, he has many heirs. At lahat ng heirs nag-aagawan. Hindi mo pwede. Pag walang heir, pero many outside, many mistresses. Marami siyang illegitimate na wives. Kasi yung tunay niya na wife, patay na. Court ka na magbayad. And number 7, if it is stipulated. Example, ang maximum. Sige pag due date at pumunta ka sa office at wala ako, huwag ka magbayad kahit na kanino sa opisina, i-deposit mo na nga sa court. Okay. Yan ang Clurits. Yan Curtis. Court order, location, unknown, refuses to issue. So take note ito yung cases, itong 7 na to, pwede kang mag-automatic consignation. Kahit hindi ka nag-tender of payment. Although ang rule, dapat mag-TOP ka muna bago ka mag-consignation. Or what you call? Consignation. Consignation is what you call, also called judicial deposit. Finally, actually class, not so much yung pang-apat. Pero kaya siya consider na special mode of payment yung application of payment. Because dito, debtor can pay partially only, partial or incomplete, even if not stipulate. So, paano yun? A debtor can pay. That's why it is an exception to the rule. Because the rule is debtor cannot pay. Cannot make a partial or incomplete. Cannot pay partial or incomplete. If not stipulated. So, what are the conditions or requisites? Una, one debtor, one creditor. Pero two or more debts. Utang. Two or more debts. Tapos, three, all are due and demandable. Then, debtor pays, but the payment is incomplete. May payment siya, pero ang payment niya class ay incomplete. Paano nangyayari sir? Ang payment ay incomplete. Payment is incomplete. So, rule, halimbawa, si A, may utang kay B, 100,000, June 30, 2023, at 10% per annum. Tapos, meron din siya 200,000, July 30, 2023, at 20% per annum. Oh, today, he has 50,000 pesos. At gusto niya ibayad kay B. Pwede ba yun? As a rule, no. Kasi sasalibin ni B, dalawang ang utang mo sa akin, no? Isang 100 at isang 200. Nag-usap pa tayo na magbabayad ka ng installment. See? But, pag present yung apat na yan, law will compel A. These are the rules. Number one, creditor must give the debtor the option where to apply the 50,000 payment. Kita mo na? Para ba sinasabihan ng batas, oy, creditor, tanggapin mo na yan. Huh? Oh. B, ikaw ang magbibigay. Ikaw B na creditor. Bigyan mo ng option C kung saan niya i-apply. Saan ba niya ibabayad yung 50? Sa 100 o sa 200? If no option on the part of the debtor, creditor will apply the following rules. A, apply to the most onerous or burdensome. And that is the most onerous or burdensome, the 200,000. Kasi mas malaki ang interest na. Otherwise, kung pare-pareho lang, then you apply it proportionate lang. Proportionate. Pero, dito sa number 2, you pay first the accrued interest. Yung muna yung interest ang bayaran. So, i-deduct mo muna sa 50,000 yung accrued interest. At kung may natira, saan accrued interest? Go! All accrued interest. All. Mapa A man o B. Bayaran mo na lahat ng accrued interest. Pagkatapos, saka na bayaran yung mag-a-apply sa principal. A first all accrued interest. Yan ang application of payment. Sa iba, tatlo lang, hanggang tender of payment lang. Hindi nila sinasama itong pangapat. But some books include it because, as I explained earlier, it is an exception to the rule. No partial payment or performance is allowed. Okay, so that finishes payment or performance. We copy for a while. We go to the second. Loss of the thing due. Another important rule. Okay. Wait. Yan. Loss of the. Kasi ibig sabihin it is determinate. Loss of the thing. Loss of the thing due. So three kinds of loss here. When it perishes, when it goes out of commerce, when it disappears, a way that it is unknown, unknown where, or known but hindi mo na siya pwedeng but hindi mo na siya pwedeng i-recover. Okay. Ang tawag dito class ay yung class ang tinatawag nilang physical loss. Ito ang tinatawag nilang civil loss. Oh, sorry. Legal loss. Right? Ito ang civil loss. Ang class, yung sikat na pinanood nyo na movie, Titanic. Yan, yung Titanic ship. Nag-disappear for a long, long time, di na makita. More than almost 30 years, nalaman nila kung saan, pero nung kinukuha nila, hindi na ma-recover. Kasi parang may mysterious force. Yung binubuhat nila, tapos bumabagsak. Tinalaman ng machines at may mga kadena na puputol pa yung mga kadena. Tinigilan na nila. Iba naman yan yung mga lumubog na talagang malalim na hindi na ma-recover. Known but cannot be recovered. So, ang debtor's fault is increased. Papasok ang remedies. Example, for damages. Okay. Finishes number 2. Cost of the thing. Number 3. Number three is on donation or remission. Yan yung pinatawan. This is the gratuitous forgiveness of debtors obligation by the or by his credit. You see the word gratuitous? It means free. Walang kapalit. That's why it is a taxable gift subject to donor's tax in taxation. Yes, in taxation. It is a taxable gift. Pag nalaman ng BIR, tataksan nila yan. Basta doon, pag umabot siya doon sa taxable amount, the taxable amount is over 250,000. Taxable amount is over 250,000. Ibig sabihin, the first 250,000 donation mo per year is exempt. Cumulative kasi ang pag-compute sa donor's tax, we will learn later on. Sa unang 250 mo per year, your first 250 donation is exempt. In excess of that, next mo na 250, i-accumulate na yan. Ito total yung first donation mo sa second donation mo for the year, for the year. For the year. Per year kasi, calendar year yan, January 1 to December 30, calendar year. January 1 to December 31. December 31. Cumulative ang pag-compute. Cumulative. Of course, and because it is a donation, taxable gift, because it is a donation, donors, donees, who is the debtor, donees, acceptance is required. Otherwise, pag hindi niya siningil yan, the obligation will just prescribe after 10 years. So may extinguish ang obligation not by the primary mode of condonation or remission, but secondary mode of prescription. Wow, hindi na naniningil, hindi na interested si creditor. Gaway sila. Ayaw na makita. Sasabihin ni creditor, hoy, ikaw debtor, ayaw ko na makita ang pagmumukha mo. Sabi ni debtor, makikita mo rin ang pagmumukha ko kasi sisingilin mo ko. May utang ka sa akin. Ang sabi ngayon ni creditor, kung para lang magkita tayo, ang paraan lang para magkita tayo ay kasi ayaw ko makita ang pagmumukha mo. Pag siningil kita o magbabayad ka, makikita ko yung pagmumukha mo, huwag ka na magbayad. Mabuti pa yung huwag ka na magbayad kaysa magbayad ka at makikita ko yung pagmumukha mo. Alasin ba ako? Sa condonation yan, yes, but kailangan doon is acceptance. Wala naman doon is acceptance. So, magpiprescribe na lang yung utang. Okay? Yung debtor's acceptance is required. Otherwise, pag hindi naningin si debtor, kasi creditor to debtor, prescribe na lang yung utang after 10. Okay, number 4. Okay, number 4 is confusion or merger of rights. So, dito kaya confusion because one person became kaya na-confuse siya. Isipin mo, nag-merge sa sarili mo yung personality ng debtor and creditor in one person. Sisingilin mo yung sarili mo. Hindi. Sabi ng pinang kamay. Bakit yan? Bakit lang din? Nagawa yung dalawang kamay. Yun? Yes, pwede mangyari ang class example sa negotiable instrument. Si A, nagbayad kay B ng, hira naman namin promissory note. Si D, in-intersection check. Kaya promissory note. Si X, diba? Yung ay pumunta kay Z. Si Z, hawak-hawak yung promissory note. Hindi na lang kay A. See? Sino ngayon si A? Si A ang issuer. Ang negotiable instrument. Such is the debtor. Now is the holder. The holder of the negotiable instrument is the creditor. O ano nga naman sinili niya, sarili niya. He is now the debtor and creditor of himself. The obligation will terminate itself. O ano nga naman magsiilan pa yung dalawang kamay. Yun. Yun ay explain pa. Okay? Pang-top notcher. Paano kung si Z is guarantor of A? Nakaroon ba ng confusion or merger sa kamay niya? Hindi. The answer is no. Because a guarantor is only secondarily liable. Kailangan dito, the person became debtor and creditor of himself primarily. Pero kung si Z ay surety or co-maker of A, may extinguish ba? Yes. Sa kamay niya, magkakaroon ng confusion or merger. Because a surety or a co-maker is liable solidarily. So, as if she had been CA. Person who is solidarily liable is primarily liable. Your co-maker si C, as if siya hit A sa kamay niya. Pero kung guarantor lang, no. Okay? Confusion or merger. 10 o'clock na pala. And we need mga 45 minutes pa para matapos kasi matagal class yung innovation. Mga 30 minutes pa para matapos natin. Compensation. Compensation na lang pala sa innovation. Pwede pa. Pero, na. Magtataas pa tayo. So, dito muna tayo titigil class. Magko-coffee break na tayo ngayon. Kasi dapat 10 o'clock or 10:15, tigil na tayo. So, coffee break now. Coffee break now. So, next topic natin, next meeting, mag-umpisa tayo sa number 5, compensation or set-off. Okay, see you later, class.